How does faith motivate you?
Namaz are like that checkpoint of the day. One of the biggest things, I guess, you have to remind yourself, this thing I have to do 5 times a day. Be like the flower that gives its fragrance even to the hand that crushes it.
I have someone that's entering the prime of his youth, already starting to make a name for himself.
Man, basketball is my life. I saw Steph versus LeBron for the first time. I was like, man, didn't know the rules and stuff, but once I got it, understood it.
So you got your MJ story?
I got my MJ story. I got cut and then I came right back.
And what is your role with Atlanta 12ers?
Man, what am I not? I'm Lahori. That's a hard one.
Who is the GOAT? Favorite go-to restaurant? Favorite Noha Khan? Must-have pre-game rituals? Who wins between you and me one-on-one?
Oh, I knew it. That's a question that has to be handled.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for tuning in to our very first Up Close and Shia podcast, where we highlight Shia personalities to serve as inspiration and role models for the next generation. Building an identity in the West is not easy, and with the rise of influencer culture, it's becoming increasingly more difficult. This platform aims to bring to light Shia personalities so we can have positive role models from within the community. With that, I'm incredibly excited to kick off the journey today with my guest today. Not only is he like a younger brother to me, but we share a burning and a passionate desire, of course, for the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhim assalam, but there is something else that binds us together, and that love is basketball. A lot of you may already know who I am alluding to, so without any further delay, Ahmed Bhatti, assalamu alaikum, and thank you for joining us and accepting our invite.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much for having me on the show today, Ali Bhai. It's a great honor. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, Ahmed Bhatti, as you know, this podcast is really focused on highlighting positive role models for the next generation. With that said, you may think, our audience may think, that these are typically mid to late career individuals. However, that's why exactly today is so special, because I have someone that's entering the prime of his youth and actually has already starting to make a name for himself and becoming an influencer in his own right. So with that said, let's just start with the brief intro. So Ahmed Bhatti, if you can tell us where exactly, how long have you been in Atlanta, and just tell us a little bit about your family background.
All right, so basically I've been in Atlanta my whole life, about 20 years here now. Born and raised in Atlanta. And now I'm getting my CIS major at Georgia State University. So just finishing up school, and that's what we're doing right now.
I know you're a man with many talents, but let's start with your passion for basketball. When did you know that this is your sport, or when did you actually pick up that basketball and start dribbling?
So basketball is my life. Basketball, basically, it came about in about 2016. I was at a house dawat, and my cousin had a NBA Finals game on. So I saw Steph versus LeBron for the first time. I was like, man, this looks like a cool sport. Then it came through with our, masjid. We were playing it all the time. So basketball's always been around. It's a big thing, especially where I grew up. Basketball was huge. So just always kept basketball around me. My friends in high school, not high school, but in middle school, we tried out for the basketball team, or like people are trying out for basketball team. I was like, what is this? Why do you have to try to make it? That's where I was like, wait, I should try to, get good at this. And
so it was about middle school is when you started getting serious with basketball?
Yeah, okay. Middle school.
Because I remember growing up, your name came up, and I was really shocked. So it was about middle school
Middle school, 7th grade, I was like not too good, but I had I always played many sports growing up: football, soccer, and basketball. But basketball was that one that I never actually liked out of the three.
Okay.
I never really there was nothing that attracted me to it because I just didn't know the rules and stuff. But once I got it, understood it, 7th grade, I was like, wow, I want to try out for this. So I tried out in 7th grade and I didn't make the team. Then I used that and I was like, all right, 8th grade, I'm going to definitely be on this team.
So you got your MJ story?
I got my MJ story. I got cut and then I came right back.
But you're talking about LeBron and Steph the epic final in 2016.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Mamba fan.
Yes.
But did you actually watch Mamba play in his prime?
So funny story. That's
my generation, by the way.
Yes, yes. No, definitely. I never really watched Kobe play growing up, but I always knew of him as one of the best scorers. Kobe Mamba mentality. You always heard that in school, and then anytime someone's shooting, like it would be like a crumbled paper in the trash in
Kobe.
school. Kobe. I'm like, who's this Kobe guy? So my dad actually bought me a pair of Kobe's as my first basketball shoe. And it's like I never like that's when I was like, and I would come to school with those Kobe's on and be like, hey man, you wearing Kobe's at
It's the
school?
shoes. It's the
Yeah.
shoes.
I was like, yeah, Kobe's, man. So the shoe was always nice, and like I always kept that around. So yeah, Kobe was one of my first. It was my first basketball shoe, and that's when I started looking at his game. I'll be like, man, this guy can hoop.
Yeah.
That's where I
Oh,
became a
Kobe
Mamba fan.
is Kobe for
Yeah,
sure.
Kobe's Mamba, man.
So just sticking around with that topic. So I know you're involved in many projects all over Atlanta, from Atlanta 12ers League to Mo Buckets. Let's start with Atlanta 12ers. Can you tell us about your role and what
Yeah.
you do with Atlanta 12ers League, and maybe even just a quick intro of what Atlanta 12ers League is?
Yeah, so definitely. So Atlanta 12ers League basically is that's our Shia League of Atlanta sports, and we host tournaments, whether it's basketball, football. We're getting into more sports right now, but alhamdulillah, we've hosted about two tournaments already here in Atlanta, and basically it's basically just to get the youth together, come together, get the community together. Just a Shia brotherhood bond here in Atlanta, and I think Atlanta 12ers League is doing a great job with everything. Thanks to Ali Bhai, Mehdi Bhai holding it down all the time for us.
Trying our best.
These guys are inspiration to us and our youth. So alhamdulillah, it's going good. And
What is your role with Atlanta 12ers?
so in Atlanta 12ers League, basically, man, what am I not? Player, manager, booker, all that. MVP,
MVP.
latest MVP. We won the championship, by the way, last year. So no, but seriously, my role basically is just being basically on the marketing side of things. Social media management. Reservations and stuff, handling all those things. That's really what side of Atlanta 12ers
Absolutely.
League
No,
I'm on,
Ahmed for sure is a crucial and integral part of Atlanta 12ers. Mehdi and I, of course, run some of the logistics things as well. But without Ahmed supporting us, we wouldn't be able to captivate the youth like the way he can.
Oh, thanks.
So maybe, again, let's go to one of your other ventures that you've recently started, but it's already reaching a lot of success. So tell me about Mo Buckets. When did that start, and where did you get the inspiration from for Mo Buckets?
So basically, I've always had a love for kids growing up. It's
My
been
son Hassan loves him. Yes.
yes, like I've always had that love for kids, and it's been actually my dream to be some type of teacher or like coach or just mentor to the youth. Like I've always wanted to give my knowledge back in some way. And I thought because I had so much, experience playing basketball and stuff, and I know how hard it was, in our brown community. Basically, my inspiration came for just through kids, like seeing all the kids, our Masjid Dar Abbas, different mosque I've been in Atlanta, always seeing basketball hoops up and kids trying to, play and be like NBA players. And then, of course, I had parents come and approach me and let me know, be like, hey, you should teach my son because I played in high school and have a little bit of college experience playing ball. So I was like, why not give that experience and knowledge back some way back to the kids? So then, someone else has a chance of making it to the high school level or the college level. And that's when I started. I was like, I'm gonna find a way where I could give back. And yeah, Mo Buckets is what's up. That's
No,
it.
and I can second that for sure. You've had a positive impact. The engagement that you get from the parents to the kids, they follow you. It's definitely been a positive engagement, and inshallah, future success for you on that as well.
Inshallah.
So again, with so much going on, you've got Atlanta 12ers, you've got Mo Buckets, you've got your college, you've got your son, you've got a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders. How do you manage all of this, especially with the context of our faith? So obviously our faith requires a lot of dedication and actual physical presence at the Imam Bargas. We have events throughout the year. So with all of this going on, how do you find that balance to maintain your faith?
Yeah, so basically the best way for me personally, like I'm a very good planner and I try to stay organized. So basically like I'll usually have my week planned out, Fridays I'm always gonna be at Dar Abbas, taking that day out for Jummah. Basically we're always in my house we always try to, come together for let's say Hadith Kissa on Thursday nights, make sure everybody's there.
Jazakallah.
Everybody's there on Thursday nights together. So it's just really like I guess you could say we try to just know that for me it's more like okay, I gotta stay organized, I gotta stay ready, I'm gonna have my schedule lined out, and basically yeah, just planning. I guess you would say, throughout the days, throughout the weeks, knowing what ayams are coming up, or what time of the year is around. So just knowing that, and it's hard. It's hard. Honestly, it's very hard to stay balanced.
So it's
But
built, is it safe to say that it's kind of built in and integrated with your schedule and it just becomes a part of that schedule?
yes, so
Okay.
definitely, it's basically part of the schedule,
No,
and we've done it for so long now,
of course.
and I believe it's a lot of the people we're around. Like I surround myself with a lot of people that are always, scheduling for, the events. So yeah, just
So with that said, maybe just to go a little bit deeper in that, again, with that hectic schedule, and as you're mentioning, it's not easy
it's
for
not.
any of us. How does faith motivate you to make sure you actually stay on time, make your schedule? How does the faith motivate you to actually do this?
So one of the biggest things, I guess, what you would say is namaz.
Jazakallah.
Namaz is always that thing in the day where, you have to remind yourself, hey, this thing I have to do 5 times a day, right? So then from that, I just build off, and I'm like, okay, I have to do other things in the day as well. So namaz are like that checkpoint of the day for
Beautiful,
me.
beautiful, absolutely.
You got to click that off, and then basically, yeah, that's
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
there's many commentaries that I've heard from the Urafa and the Marjas that have mentioned that you should plan your day according to the timings of Salah. So, alhamdulillah, mashallah,
Yes,
if
thank
you're
you, bro.
if
Yeah,
that's what motivates
alhamdulillah.
you, absolutely. And maybe just the last question before we go into the second segment of the show: what message would you give to the youth that have this passion for whatever sport that they may be interested in? What advice would you give them to use their faith as motivation, stay out of the norms of the cultural setting of sports, typically where we don't have positive role models? They're fantastic players, but do we live our life based on how they eat and walk and sleep and drink? We can't necessarily do that, right? We have a different background. So
Right.
the next generation, the youth that are going to be watching this and have a passion for sports in general, whether it's basketball or some other sport, how do they find that balance to stay so close to the sport so they can actually become a better player but not lose who they are?
Right. So something like this, I would say, is to know that. I mean, it's wrong completely. First off, you're right. The culture is so wrong, and I believe that a lot of our athletes and a lot of our Shia kids, what they get caught up in is like, oh, I want to be like this player, this player, like that, and because they're so good at what they do, since they can do it, we can do it. And no, that's wrong, because like music is a huge thing. We have these athletes, everybody wants to be like them and stuff, just to have that.
Branding.
Yeah, branding basically.
Branding, yeah.
What I would say is to just, for our youth, I would definitely say, is to stay close to your deen, and on top of that, know that it's not going to lead you anywhere good, because those people that are successful in this world are not really successful in their like life, in their personal life. I would say, it doesn't lead to good. Like, it's not good for you, basically. Like, it's a little hard to explain, but basically,
Yeah,
like,
no,
yeah.
it's a really tough line to follow. But perhaps as you were mentioning earlier, maybe within that is also guidance, which is setting yourself a schedule, right? I mean, we hear so many different just phrases and things from really influencer people and philosophers, etc.,
Yeah.
to set your schedule. So perhaps that is itself within guidance for the youth. So, Ahmed, thank you so much. We're going to close off the first segment. We're going to go into the exciting rapid fire segment of the show. If you are not aware, Ahmed, this part of the show, I'm going to ask you a set of questions, and with the expectation that the first thing that comes to your mind, you've got to give me that answer raw, uncut, candid. You can take a few seconds to think about it, but if you're spending way more than 2 seconds, I'm going to call you out. So are you ready for this rapid fire?
I am ready. Just don't ask me anything that's gonna get me in trouble, because it's gonna come out rapid.
It's gonna come out rapid.
It's gonna.
All right, I'm gonna just come out firing. You ready?
All right, let's do it.
Who is the GOAT?
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Okay. Best shoes of all time. Hooping shoes.
Kobe's all the way.
Is there a particular Kobe?
Kobe 6. Kobe 6.
Kobe
Grinch
6.
is probably Grinch or reverse Grinch. Best shoe.
Okay, Grinch or reverse Grinch. Got it. Okay, there you go, sneakerheads. Favorite go-to restaurant?
Ooh, I'm Lahori. That's a hard one. I would say right now in Atlanta, I would say Nara's up there.
Nara's up there?
Nara's
okay,
up
yeah,
there,
Nara's
yeah.
good. Nara's good for sure. Okay, switching gears on you just a little bit.
Yeah.
Favorite Noha Khan?
Favorite Noah Khan? This one's a rare one, but people sleep on Pyari Khan.
Pyare Khan.
He's more of a mankabat, but
Yeah, I know. He's
that's
a
my
legend.
guy, Pyari Khan.
Pyare
I
Khan.
listened to my short little story. Me and Mama going to high school every day. She would drop me off, right? We would listen to him in the car, and man, I would memorize those things. So that's like just a childhood thing,
Okay.
like Pyari
Subhanallah.
Khan's up there.
Okay. Sticking in the same realm, favorite go-to Noha?
Favorite my go-to Noha.
One that you got on repeat.
This one's a hard one. This one I gotta think about this one. One go-to Noha.
We have a ton. Pick
Yeah,
one.
we have a ton. I think I was talking about this the other day. Akbar Viran is really
Akbar Viran, yes.
it's really a beautiful Noha.
That's a beautiful one. Okay, we'll stick with Akbar
Akbar
Viran.
Viran.
Okay, I'm gonna switch gears on you again. What is one of your must-have pre-game rituals that you have to do before a game starts?
A must-have for some reason, a ginger shot has always been helpful.
A ginger shot.
A ginger shot. It's
Okay,
random.
so that's the secret, guys. There you go. You heard it live here. That's a ginger shot. That's what it takes.
Oh my god!
All right,
Funny story behind that. In New
Please
Jersey.
entertain us.
No, in Maryland, I was feeling a little sick. We landed, and there were like three guys, Shia and them. Shout out Shia and Maryland. All the boys were like worried about. We had landed for they invited us for their basketball tournament.
Yeah, the DMV
DMV basketball tournament. We went there. We landed, and I'm like feeling sick and just like down, right? I'm like, man, I need something that's gonna wake me up. And they're like, all right, we'll get you a ginger shot. They got me a ginger shot. I scored a lot of points that game.
You sure did. You were our MVP representing Atlanta and Maryland.
Yeah.
Okay, and again, I'm switching gears on you to really make your mind think here. Tell me a favorite ayah or hadith that's really just stuck with you your life and just resonates with you. Of course, all of the ayahs in the Quran, all of the hadiths from Ahlul Bayt are beautiful, but just one that sticks with you. You can paraphrase.
I'm not. I definitely. I'm gonna say this one because this has been my wallpaper for the longest, and especially in Muharram, I make sure to turn into this one because it's a black screen. But basically, one of my favorite hadiths by Mullah Adi al-Islam is that be like the flower that gives its fragrance even to the hand that crushes it.
Subhanallah.
That is definitely one of the, and that means a lot for me in my personality because that's who I try to be like. I try to be that person that's always caring, loving. I'm always trying to spread that positivity to other people. So I feel like that quote goes a long way for me because I'm always going to be wanting to be like that.
Beautiful.
Sweet no matter what, humble no matter what. That's the goal, man.
No, that's good. That's amazing. And again, I can second that, and that's why you have that following that you do. The kids just love you. I mean, just to simply put it.
Alhamdulillah.
I'm not gonna let you go. This is the last one and probably the toughest question, and here it is.
He's about to get me in trouble.
All right, last question of the rapid fire section. You ready?
Yes.
Who wins between you and me one-on-one?
Oh, I knew it. This can go two ways. Your prime, my prime. I didn't see you in your prime. That's a question that has to be handled right now. I think I'm taking that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that one because you gotta always believe in yourself.
He can't guard me.
But this guy, I'm gonna give it to you. I have no doubt he wasn't the GOAT in Atlanta sports before like long time, but he still got it. He will still bust me. I cannot guard him.
I'm gonna get you on a couple plays. I'm gonna get you on a couple.
Oh, for
plays.
sure. Ali Bhai is still a gem hooper, man. He got that ball on a string. He probably has the best ball handling in Atlanta. Man, Ali Bhai, you inspire us for sure, man.
I appreciate that. No, I'll give it to you. And I've told them before in private. I usually don't say this in a public setting, but I will say it live here on this episode that the crown has officially been transferred over to Ahmed.
Let's go, baby.
He is the MVP of Atlanta for sure.
For sure.
Ahmed Bhatti, thank you so much for joining our podcast today. It's been a pleasure to host you. I know the kids, I know our next generation will really benefit from this conversation. And of course, inshallah, we have many more conversations. Definitely. I wish nothing but the success. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bihaqq Ahlul Bayt, keep showering the success on you. And if there's any questions for Ahmed Bhatti, of course, you can reach out directly at Mo Buckets, or you can come to us on our page, of course, at Up Close and Shia Podcast. And inshallah, we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum and Khudafis.